Hey you guys, it's Crystal from the Abundantly Blessed Homestead, where we use the wisdom of our ancestors to make amazing, nourishing, delicious meals for our family and grow some of our own food. It is Tuesday night, it's live, 5:15, well I'm late. 5:17 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're gonna make sourdough chicken gyros tonight. Super good. I've already pre-made my dough for the sourdough gyros, but I'm gonna, it's actually pitas. We're gonna do pita bread instead. So I'm going to go over how I made them so you guys can learn how to make them. And we're going to bake them together. Then we're going to make the stuffing to go on the inside. It's totally delicious. I have not had the time to get any of my ingredients. So I'm going to get my apron on and start grabbing things while you guys jump on. And we'll get going on this real quick, okay? So just hang in there for a few minutes. I'm glad you guys are here. So the sourdough pita bread dough has been sitting since this morning, which is kind of a long time for my sourdough starter, so hopefully that works out okay. And then you totally could use raw chicken and season it the same way we're going to season my cooked chicken in a jar. Or go buy canned chicken from somewhere. This is my homemade canned chicken from the chickens we raise here every year from Meat Birds. So I'm just going to use this. I really need to, just in case I'm watching this video, the replay, Crystal, you need to go ahead and get out that roaster and totally cook down some chickens. There. So when I go back to look at this video and edit anything out, there's my to-do list. I need to cook down some more chickens because what I typically do is we butcher them, we leave them whole. Hey Julie, and then I cook them into the cooker, the slow cooker, and then I take all the meat off and then I separate it off into freezer bags like quart size that I can measure out into 1 pound increments, put them back into the freezer so they take up way less space, stack them kind of like a stack of books in there, and then they're ready to go for meals like this so I don't have to use my canned meat because I really don't want to use my canned meat if I don't have to, because this stuff is really great for power outages, which we typically have. Hey Jackie, we typically have power outages in the winter, so it's nice to have meat that's on the shelf, that's shelf stable, that doesn't require any sort of electricity to eat it. So I hate to use my canned stuff, but we're going to use it today. It's just something that's nice and quick at this point. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start the pita bread, I think. So for the pita bread, what I did was I took 1 cup of bubbly starter, 1 cup of warm water, and 3.5-ish cups of flour. Now because I'm using fresh home ground flour, I do add the Vital Wheat gluten into the recipe. So I think I added like 2 teaspoons. And basically what that is for is like if the recipe calls for an all-purpose flour or a bread flour, you want to add that Vital Wheat gluten because it helps to make the bread the same consistency as store-bought bread flour. So anyway, I added some of that, and then I added 3 tablespoons of palm fruit shortening, which is what I personally have switched to with baking for baked goods instead of using butter. If you want to use butter, that's totally fine as well. I just switched to palm fruit shortening because we're going to put healthy fat on this meal anyway, and palm fruit shortening from Azure Standard that's organic is still a healthy fat and it's cheaper than butter right now. So I bought it by the case and it was like $4 a pound versus the higher cost of, actually it was $4, was it $4 a pound? No, it was 4 pounds. I forget how much, it was like $2 a pound or something to buy a whole case. So it's way cheaper than butter right now. So check that out if your budget's tight and you have to limit the amount of butter you're using, and you're just going to be making sourdough. It's actually a really good swap out, and I found that the palm fruit shortening adds a ton of moisture to my loaves, you know, and then again to this pita bread. It works out super good. So anyway, but then what I do is I add it to my machine and I let it knead it just like you would a bread. So you just keep slowly adding flour until that dough pulls away from the side, and then you keep kneading it, and you knead it for, I think I kneaded it for like 10 minutes because this is fresh ground flour. Store-bought flour you won't have to knead as long. And then I moved it And I'll show you what it looks like now. I moved it into this wonderful cast iron Dutch oven. I oiled it first with some olive oil. And see, it's huge now. But I put this in here, and then I did what's called stretch and fold. If you don't know what that is, if that's a new term to you, you sure can look up videos here on YouTube on how to do it. But essentially all you're doing is pulling a side of your dough, kind of wiggling it, stretching it over the top, and you work your way all the way around to stretch and fold the whole thing. So anyway, this is a series of stretch and folds, 30-minute intervals, 3 times. I know it sounds complicated, but it's totally not. You could totally make these ahead of time. You could totally freeze these. Don't get overwhelmed. I made it this morning, and then it just sits. So you can either ferment it for like 12 to 24 hours inside your refrigerator, or you can do what I did and I just left it out on the counter and came back 8 hours later. And my sourdough starter is a mega sourdough starter, so it's totally eaten everything here. It's happy. My dough has doubled. We are good to go. If you do not have sourdough starter, or if you're interested in purchasing some of my mega sourdough starter, the link is down below. It's only $5, you guys, and I mail it out to you. It's fabulous. Okay, so the next step with this is going to be baking it. So the oven has to be super hot. So this really isn't the greatest meal to make it a hot day, but it's only in the 70s here, so it's perfect. I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 500 degrees. I'm going to make sure nothing is in my oven, because I've been known to preheat my oven and there's something still in there. We don't want to do that. And the oven rack needs to be in the center of your oven, okay? Grab some coconut oil because I don't want this dough to stick to my hands, and I'll be right back. Little advertisement for Azure Standard. I love their coconut oil. This is only $16.54 a gallon for coconut oil that you would use to cook with. Good deal on that. So I actually doubled that recipe that I read to you. So the recipe I read to you would make 8 pita breads. So this should make 16. We'll see how that goes. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not much of a roller when it comes to breads and such. So what I do, instead of rolling, is I always use my hands. Hey Julie, rain showers coming through here this afternoon. The mosquitoes are horrible. It's been raining here, but we've been in a drought. We got 3 inches of rain last weekend. It was great. So I'm going to go ahead and put my pan into my oven at 500 degrees because we want to preheat this so the pitas don't stick to it. And then I'm going to take this coconut oil that I have on my hand and I'm going to rub it right on my counter. You can do this with any type of counter. You don't have to have wood countertops.
Mom?
Yeah, Sugar Toots?
Even move the cat.
No, that's fine. You're fine.
What about the deal head?
Okay, well then, yeah, that needs to moved out of the way. Okay?
Everything?
Yes, please. This is the way that I can roll things out on my countertop, have them not stick, and I don't have to use additional flour that's not properly prepared. You sure could flour the surface with some sprouted flour if you wanted to. I just like to use oil because it's easier and nothing sticks.
Mom?
Yes?
After we done cleaning up
Your dad will be here and you can talk to him. Ask him what he needs help with next.
I mean, watch a movie.
So I'm just going to grab a handful of this, okay? I don't exactly know how big the balls are supposed to be because it didn't say. But I'm just going to push them until they're about 6-inch round. And then this will be able to go right onto my baking sheet. Ta-da! And it will peel right off my counter because my counter is essentially non-stick now. So I'll just roll another one out right next to it there. And as soon as my oven is 500 degrees, then it will be ready to add these. And what ends up happening is we're going to add these right to the hot stone that's already been preheated, so and they're not going to stick. And we're going to stick it into the 500 degree oven and it only bakes for like 3 to 5 minutes and these are done. So I got 2 smushed on out. You sure could use a rolling pin if you like. I just like to use my hands. I just feel like I have a better feel of like how thick to roll them out. These need to be about 1/4 inch thick and about 6 inches wide, okay? So there's 2 there. So we'll go to the next step here, which is going to be basically mixing my chicken with the seasoning. So 1 second on that. Let me grab a freezer bag. So, if you've missed any of my other cooking classes where I use my cooked chicken, my canned chicken, I save the liquid inside the jar here. And I'm going to be making a video series as we get closer to my due date when I go to make all of my freezer meals about how to make homemade canned cream of chicken and homemade canned cream of mushroom. So what I'm doing is I am saving the broth, the cooking liquid that's in here with the chicken, for the cream of chicken soup, because that's going to add a ton of flavor. So I've just been like pouring it into a baggie. The other baggie I haven't said the freezer's already full. I'm just going to have to wing it. And I just pour it on in there and I just freeze it. And the next time I go to use canned chicken, I just do the same thing, and it just kind of adds up over time. But for that cream of chicken recipe, you sure could, reserve some broth from slow cooking a chicken in a crock pot or something. It just adds a lot of flavor to that particular cream of soup. There we go. So I'm gonna put those on the counter so I end up reminding myself to label that, because otherwise if I throw it in the freezer like that, I will never remember what that is ever. So I'm gonna put it on the counter so I don't forget. Okay, I'm going to grab a bowl and we're going to mix this with some seasoning. And like I said before, you could totally saute some chicken in a pan on the stove and add the seasoning to it while you're sauteing it. That would be delicious as well. We basically need cooked chicken that's been seasoned up nicely, and we're going to make a yummy sauce that has yogurt in it. And then we've got our toppings and our pita bread. It's a pretty simple meal, other than making the pita breads, and technically you could buy those from the store if you needed to. I've just never made pita before, so I was like, I want to try making this pita bread. My kids have actually never had pita bread, which is rather funny. I was telling them, oh yeah, we're going to have chicken gyros tonight. And they're like, oh, okay. What's that? And I was like, oh yeah, it's the stuff that's wrapped into pita bread. And they're like, what's pita bread? So it's going to be a little fun adventure tonight. So I'm just shredding this chicken the rest of the way, because when I go to can it, I just do the largest chunk that'll fit into the jar. Because after you've canned up like 20 chickens, you're just sort of done for the day. You just want to get it done. So there we go. I'm going to go wash my hands and we're going to throw in some seasonings. All right. So let's check out comments to make sure I didn't miss anybody really quick. And then we're good to go. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and add the seasonings. So to this chicken, we're going to need some smoked paprika and cumin. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to find the cumin. My kids always move my spices around. It throws me off every time I open this. It's like, where did you guys put my stuff? I don't know. I went to a new library this afternoon with Nevaeh. She's our reader. She loves to read. And there is a reading, I don't want to call it a competition, they're calling it a program. But anyway, she's pretty excited. We're kind of entering into it midway, but she's excited that there's such thing as reading with a, some sort of reward for reading the most books. Just in case you guys don't know Nevaeh, she's not on here very often. She's my 11-year-old, and she's got the pretty long blonde hair. In any event, she has read over 1,500 books. And she's completely read her way out of our local library. So we're searching for more books. All right, so smoked paprika is 2 teaspoons. This is about 2 pounds of chicken, you guys. That would probably help to know that, huh? 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. You could use regular paprika, it just doesn't have that smoky flavor. Next ingredient is 2 teaspoons of cumin, which is about what's left in here. So I'm just going to dump it. Okay. Next ingredient is 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. If you are looking for a great place to buy herbs for cooking, etc., Azure Standard has your back on that one. They have the best prices I've found so far. Turmeric. I think I have some of that down here. Let me just see. That's curry powder. There it is. Ground turmeric. We need 1 teaspoon. That's something I don't use a lot of, is ground turmeric, unless I'm making like some sort of rice. 1 teaspoon. Okay. Next ingredient is ground coriander. We need 1 teaspoon of that. I'm still waiting for my oven to come up to 500 degrees. It does take a while, guys. Because that's hot. That is like cook a pizza in 2 minutes hot. Salt. So we want healthy salt. We want colored salt. So things like pink Himalayan salt's good. Celtic sea salt, that's gray. Just not white table salt that you would buy from a grocery store. Because the white salt from the grocery store has actually been stripped of all of its minerals. And your body needs those minerals in order to handle the salt properly without having problems. So we want the whole food. We don't want processed food, so we like colored salt. So we need 1 teaspoon of salt, healthy salt. And we'll toss all this together here in just a second. 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. I might actually, ooh, there's some powder in there today. It's like a solid chunk at the bottom, so I'm always impressed when I open it and there's some powder for me to use. Okay. Cinnamon, 1 pinch. Now, if you don't have cinnamon, it's not the end of the world, but the cinnamon just kind of gives it like a little slight undertone where you go to chew it and you're like, oh, what is that? That was 1/4 teaspoon. That smells good. I love the smell of cinnamon. Even in summer, fall, I really love it because that's, you know, apple cider time. Yeah, baby girl, what's up?
Did you know what they did? They ate all the lettuce.
They ate all of it?
Yep.
Okay, well, I have some more lettuce. Would you like to feed them?
Good. They're like hungry.
Okay.
See, the art explains this.
Okay, hey, baby girl, our food is up there. So let me turn the camera if you want to show them your caterpillars.
So, some are just climbing up because she does.
Oh yeah, let me move it in for the close-up. There they are.
And one's like climbing.
Do they have names yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
One, see this baby one, this one.
Was it baby one? Oh, the third one didn't get any camera time. Move that up right there. Okay.
See it? And then, then I think one of these is the mom. There's the mom.
Oh, that's okay.
That's the mom. That's the dad.
Okay.
That's the sister, and that's the little baby.
Okay, so it's a whole family of them?
Is another one that I found today.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Sounds good. I'm going to finish our dinner now, okay?
But I really want to get them some lettuce.
Well, open the fridge. There's a bag in there. Go ahead and help yourself.
This? What?
Here. Just 1 second, you guys.
Oh,
Okay, this is the lettuce you can feed to your
yes.
creatures, okay?
Creatures who are hungry.
We are overflowing in lettuce right now. My dad overplanted lettuce in his garden. And so they've been showering us with lettuce and we've been showering them with eggs. Okay, so we need 2 tablespoons of real lemon juice.
Hey, you guys, go down.
Be nice.
I
I love this brand
Open it up.
because it's all pure lemon juice. I buy this from Azure Standard. There's no preservatives. It's not from concentrate, which is what that green stuff is inside the plastic jug you can get at the supermarket. This is really good stuff. I buy it in a 3-pack. This last time it was right around $27 for 3 of these, which will last my family a while. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and stir.
That one looks like dead. Ooh, I like it.
I don't think they're dead. I think they're just hungry.
No, I mean the baby one. Oh, there it is. It's moving. It's got something on its butt.
If you guys are watching live and you have the ability to push the thumbs up button, that would be awesome. I don't get paid for my YouTube videos. I'm not monetized by YouTube. My goal is just to get the word out about healthy food, how to cook healthy food for your family. So the way you can help me spread my videos for more people to view them and have more ideas of from scratch food for them to make for their family is to hit that thumbs up button and make a comment down below. The way YouTube works is that it judges, you know, how many people actually like this content, how many people are commenting on videos, and that helps to spread the word. And like I said, I don't make a penny. I'm not monetized. I've never made a penny off of any of my videos, including my tooth healing ones that have reached like 17,000 people. So hit that thumbs up button for me. That really helps me out a lot. Okay, so I just mixed it and it's seasoned. You guys can see how beautiful that looks. Like I said, you could totally saute chicken with the same seasoning on it.
Mom, what is eating?
I am so happy when it's eating. That is fabulous news.
I see it.
I'm going to go grab the yogurt. We're going to make this yogurt sauce next. I'm so glad they're eating the lettuce. That means they like Grandpa's lettuce.
What is it eating? Oh.
Well, the other one
The
might
baby's helping itself to some.
Well, usually kids are hungrier than adults, so
Yeah.
some days you eat more than your mom.
Mom?
What, baby girl?
Can I show them how to eat?
No, not right now. Mama's gonna do her class. Okay, so I have homemade yogurt that's made from goat's milk right now, but you could use any yogurt that you want. I'm gonna use this because I have a surplus of goat dairy products right now.
And jump up and chicken.
So we need 1 cup of yogurt.
Hey, let me give them.
There should be just enough left in there for me to boost the next batch of yogurt that I'm going to make.
Mom, say just let them up so when they're hungry, they just can bite some.
No, because I don't want it to rot in there.
Okay.
Okay, so 1 cup of yogurt has gone into my measuring cup, and I made sure to choose one that has a pour spout because we're going to be pouring these onto the wraps.
Now order one.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and do 2 teaspoons of garlic.
Climb up.
2 teaspoons of garlic. We're going to do half of a teaspoon of dried dill. So I'm just going to use dill weed. I have dill out into the garden today. I just didn't have a chance to go get any. So we need half of a teaspoon.
What is Dill?
Yeah, you want to smell it? Like pickles, you know?
Oh, yeah. I remember those.
Yeah.
Those are on pig hook lines.
Okay. Here, Mommy needs to get up here. Thank you. Okay, and then once again, lemon juice. We need 2 teaspoons of lemon juice.
Wow.
And we're going to give that a really good stir. What?
Look
Okay.
at it. It's climbing up.
They're hungry.
And that's why it's climbing up.
They're like, hey, who put all this lettuce in here all of a sudden?
Like, I want some.
You sure could mix this like the day before and allow it to sit inside the refrigerator. Because the longer that you let it sit, obviously the more flavor that the yogurt's going to be taking on. But that's that. That's our...
Mom.
What?
I wonder if, what was it?
I'm not sure. You're the one that have the idea.
I don't know. I just
All right. Mommy's going to make the rest of the pitas.
What are these?
Do you want to go get some pitas? Mama's going to put them...
Pitas?
Yep, we're going to put them on the baking sheet and make them.
Pitas?
You've never had pitas.
What is pitas?
Pitas are like if a hamburger bun had a baby with a tortilla. Okay? That's what they are.
Oh, Dot.
Yeah, like I said, you've never had them in your whole life. This would be a special treat for you. So one tip I do have is if you are preheating cast iron or stoneware in the oven before you're adding your food, invest in some good silicone mats for your counter because sometimes that cast iron or the stoneware will get so hot that it'll like burn into your cloth pot holders. So I went and got some silicone ones that just work so much better. Okay. I'm going to take a really, okay, move out of the way. That's going to be a really hot pan.
Get down and get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Move that.
So it's steaming hot, guys.
Oh yeah, when our food comes out, it's hot.
It's very hot. So we're just going to take these little pita breads.
Hey, Mom, can I send you something?
What is it?
Well, it's a bead food.
I think I left it on the counter too much. Hang on a second. I'm going to repress these. I don't think leaving it on the counter for 20 minutes was a good thing.
Oh, got it. Get it.
Hang on one second.
It's gone. No, it's not. It's headed to bead feed.
We hatched out some guineas this week, so that is your keats is what they're called. That was kind of fun. Like I said, these are only going to bake 3 to 5 minutes, you guys, so it doesn't take very long. Once your dough is ready to go, you're just smushing it to about a 1/4 inch thick, and then baking it for 3 to 5 minutes at 500 degrees. And then we're going to stuff them. This one, they're going to be kind of bigger than that one is anyway.
Could I sew them?
Okay. Yeah, Dad's going to be home. You need to go outside and help him.
But I've got to wash my caterpillars.
That'll be okay. They're not going to get out of that. So I'm going to make a smaller one that's going to fit right in here for little William.
Yeah.
Ooh, it was smaller, so it stretched. Hang on a second.
Oh, yeah. Mom, you should have one of those. Flatten them more up. But that's...
I don't want to flatten it all the way, though.
Yeah.
All right.
If we flatten them more up, that would be so
And these are going to get kind of puffy and golden brown. That's how we know they're done.
Golden brown?
We're going to go ahead and add it to the oven. Bethany? I don't want you to get burned. So in they go. I'll set a timer for 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
All right. And I'm just going to wait to roll out any of the rest of them. We have all your dad's home. We have all of this dough to do. Got to make 18 of them. I like to make enough so I can have leftovers for tomorrow's lunch. So I'll just do some talking about some questions I've gotten this week on the channel because we got lots of new subscribers. Awesome. Oh, right here. See, here's my milk. We'll see how long it takes William to come in for his. Daddy's home, so it's kind of a distraction. But in any event, some new questions, or maybe they're old questions. But some of you guys might be thinking the same thing, so I might as well go there. So once again, I had the common question, which I've received 100 times probably, which is there's lots of videos out there that talk about fermenting rice and beans, and so why do I ferment mine before I cook them? Because all the other videos out there say to ferment them after. So the reason why that happens is because I'm not after the benefit of bacteria. And the end result, I'm going to bake these beans. But what I want is for that good bacteria to grow and multiply and help to break down the hard to digest starches and other things, the phytic acid, the enzyme inhibitors, break all of that down so the food's more bioavailable and digestible for our bodies. But also when you ferment something that's raw, the nutrients are multiplied. Whereas if I waited and I cooked my beans first and then I fermented them, the difference would be, number one, you'd have phytic acid, you'd have enzyme inhibitors, and those are things that bind to things in your body, which basically makes your food an anti-nutrient. So those two things would be huge. But then the third thing is you've already cooked it, and so you're just basically getting the beneficial bacteria from the fermentation process, which is still great. It's just not achieving the same thing that I'm after, which is trying to take the gas and the bloat out of beans and rice for most people. Most people have that problem. And if you can ferment them, then that goes away, which is great. That was one of the questions. Let's see, what was the other one? I had that one this week. I had, that one was a huge one. It was somebody, I think her name was Kathleen or Catherine. What was the other question? I'm trying to think what the other one was. it was along the same lines of that same concept of properly preparing grains. No, I'm not going to remember what it was. We'll have to catch up on that one next week. My garden's going good right now. The chickens are out in my garden because last year's drought brought like locust type, oh, it's been 3 minutes, check that out. Locust type grasshopper infestation. It's just about there. I'm going to go about another minute on these. And basically, it ended up getting so bad. They started out on the potato plants, and then they ate all of those. And then when that was gone, they moved to the other plants in my garden. And then when those were gone, they moved to ripe tomatoes. They would wait until they were like 1 day away from being ripe, and I was leaving them on the vine to pull them off, and they would like eat half of it, which is disgusting. So basically, my garden, I ended up just like kind of walking away from it last year. And unfortunately, because I did that, those big mama and dada grasshoppers made babies and put those eggs all over my garden. And now those all hatched. So basically, I've tried diatomaceous earth on the babies. They're like little tiny baby ones. I think they're called nymphs or something. I can't remember. But they like don't have the adult color yet. They're like green. I've tried diatomaceous earth. Doesn't really work, or at least not for my size invasion. We're talking like 1 15-foot row of potato plants has, if I had to envision, probably 20 to 30 baby grasshoppers per plant, and there's probably about 15 plants there. So you can do the math on how many grasshoppers that would be. It's just a huge amount. So what I finally just ended up doing was I was spraying them with neem oil, but that doesn't really kill them. It just prevents them from laying eggs and having babies for next year, which is awesome. I'm going to go like 1 more minute because they're not quite golden brown yet, okay? It'll end up being a full 5 minutes on this end of baking time. But anyway, so what I finally just came around to was the neem oil will help me for next year, but it's not helping me for this year. And sitting back and watching like all of my hard work get eaten just makes me angry. So what I said, I talked myself into this, I said I'm going to put cages like around all tomato plants that have big tomatoes on them. And I'm going to let some chickens loose. I let my free range chickens into the garden, but they panicked once they got inside a fence because they're not used to being fenced. And out of, I think we had 10 chickens in there, 8 of them were pacing the fence and 2 of them were chasing grasshoppers, which I appreciate those 2 and their effort, but I need like a flock, you know what I mean? So anyway, we took them out, we let them out because I hate to see animals in distress. So we let them back out. And then I was thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute. We have this separate flock that's in a tractor that we move, but like they've never been able to like run. You know what I mean? And they've never like had access to all these bugs. So we caught them and we moved them into my garden. And they're loving their life. They're eating. They must have the population down by like 30 to 50% already. They've only been there for about 24 hours. And they're eating them, but they're also scaring them, which is kind of funny because they're like scaring them out of the garden and then they hop out of the fence where the other chickens eat them. So it all works out. All right, so this is done. These little pita breads. Golden brown on the back side, kind of poofy on the other side. That's what we want. And I need to get a container to put these in. What am I going to put them in? Let me think. I think I'll do a glass cookware with a lid. So the idea is the same thing as when you're making tortillas. If you want these to stay moist and bendable, we need to get them right off of the baking sheet and into some sort of a container. Now, the directions that I saw online said put them in a plastic bag, but there's no way you're going to convince me to put a 500-degree pita into a plastic bag. So I'm going to stick them right in here in my 13.9 pan. It's glass. And we're going to put the lid on, and that's going to trap the moisture while we do the next one. I'm going to just get this pan loaded up one more time, and I'll show you guys how to put all this together as a meal. So So this is still hot. I'm going to need a little bit of coconut oil again on this counter. And if you have wood countertops and you do the coconut oil thing, you're totally reconditioning, well, at least with mine. Mine are not coated with any sort of chemical or polyurethane that keeps them waterproof. I use something that's called tung oil. I use it on all my cutting boards, on my countertops, and it totally puts an oil barrier onto your wood. It does wear out and you have to recoat it, but it's non-toxic and I don't have to worry about smushing, say, pita bread into my countertop and have to worry about chemicals leaching into my food. So for me, it's like conditioning my countertop, which is so nice. These would like really smush out nice. This dough would smush out nice into tortillas. You can just kind of like see how stretchy and pliable that is. That would make some amazing tortillas. Okay. There we go. They don't have to be perfect. They're homemade. Okay, so 5 minutes. These two are going to go on in to bake at 500 degrees. Okay, I got a timer going, so we're going to get one out of the container, load this baby up, and show you everything it can be in all of its glory. But first, I must get my toppings. I have to go to the other fridge and get my lettuce from the garden. And I'm going to rinse these cherry tomatoes really quick. Okay. I'll be right back. I gotta go grab that lettuce. Okay, so you can use whatever lettuce you want. I'm going to go ahead and get out a cutting board. I never really directly cut on my countertops. I know I technically could, but I don't want to leave a bunch of scratches that food particles can get stuck in, just for sanitary reasons. So some of the good toppings for this would be like purple onion, which my husband obviously is going to pass on that one, but us girls love our purple onion. So I'm just going to chop some up for the topping, just to show you guys how pretty these are when they come together. I'm also going to do some cherry tomatoes. I'm just going to take the cherry tomatoes and chop them in half. You sure could use them whole, but they're easier to eat in a gyros situation as if they're already chopped in half. So there's not so much of a chunk with a bunch of juice that flies into your mouth all at once. Okay, there's those two. And then you could do cucumber. I'm not going to do cucumber. William is not a huge fan of cucumber, and so I'm just going to omit it from this recipe, but you sure could add it. We've got some lettuce. I'm just going to grab a plate from my dishwasher that sang the happy song in the intro there that it was done washing my dishes. And I'll grab one of these pitas. Okay, so here they are, completely bendable, okay? Because they're nice and warm. So we're just going to add some of our seasoned chicken down the middle. Okay, and then to this, depending on who wants what, I'll just make this one mine. I love onions, so I'm going to add onion, a few of the tomatoes, and some lettuce to the top. Okay, and then I'm just going to take some of this dressing and drizzle it over the top. And that is dinner right there. That's how easy that is. Mine's dripping. But it's super good. My mouth's watering. And those pitas are not hard to make at all. And they're amazing. Like I said to my younger daughter, it's like having a hamburger and a tortilla have a baby. There it is. It's just a twist up on not always having to eat tortillas. But this is super good, you guys. I hope you guys give it a try. If you try this recipe out, comment down below. And if I inspired you to make a from scratch meal for your family, would you please let me know down in the comments? I love to find out that I've impacted everyone out there with my cooking videos, or if you learned something new from one of my videos, feel free to comment down below. Those comments keep me going. And it's just so cool to realize I'm reaching people all over the globe with nutrient-dense foods and wisdom on how to properly prepare our food. So that's it for tonight. I'm going to check the comments real quick. I don't think that any little kids are coming in for milk. Oh, hang on. Hey, Bethany, you want some milk?
Oh my gosh, I love some.
Okay, we'll do milk really quick.
No.
Why don't you put them down? I don't think they need the milk.
Yeah, I like to open it.
All right, I'll get you some milk so we can clink our glasses.
I think I got some.
So Jackie, if you want to comment, you're commenting live right now, but I haven't figured out how to keep the chat for everyone else to see later. So after I get off the live, if you go back on this video, you can comment down below. I don't know how to say the chat yet. I haven't.
Yum. Can I have one of those?
You know what? You can.
I just love these.
Oh, good. You love cherry tomatoes?
Favorite.
Wait till our garden starts growing. Won't that be nice? Okay, so this is Bethany. Oh, Bethany, hang on a second. Mama's got to get this bread out. Can you just get down for 1 second? I don't want to burn you.
I love the tomatoes. One of my favorite.
There it
Even
is.
I love the tomatoes they grow.
I know.
As soon as a big one,
All right.
I just calm it down and just then
So Bethany is 6. Okay, come on up. Let's leave your caterpillars down though. Their food's up here, okay?
no,
All right.
I want it.
So here you go. You can be my milk buddy tonight. All right. So who's your favorite goat?
Maverick.
Maverick?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why?
He's too small.
You like him?
Because
Mm-hmm.
he has big horns and he looks nice and he looks cute.
And he's fuzzy.
Yeah. And he didn't mad the whole way
He didn't
back
do what?
home.
Oh, he didn't cry in the car when we bought him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And only mad, but not mad, like mad all the time back home. He didn't.
So do you know why Mommy makes her own bread? Why does Mommy make all this stuff?
Because
Just what does Bethany think? It's not a quiz. You're not going to get the wrong answer. What do you think at age 6? Why does your mom do all this cooking?
it's because we homeschool.
Oh, because we homeschool. Okay, so if you were at public school, I wouldn't cook from scratch?
I don't know.
Okay. So, you want Mom to tell you why I cook like this?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mommy cooks like this and makes all of these breads and everything from scratch because I love it. Make sure you have the most nutrient-dense food because it's healthier for your body. Oh, I think she's enjoying her milk. I'm sorry, I pulled her. Would you like to be my milk buddy?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Well, with that, you guys, thanks for jumping on. We'll see you next week. Don't eat all those. Go out and help your dad. You put that. I'll put it in the fridge for you. Okay. Anyway, thanks for joining me, you guys, and I will catch you guys next week. I'll do a pre-scheduled event as soon as I know what I'm going to make. And all my information is down below. If you guys want to reach out via email or something, all that information is down below. Shipping addresses, my wish lists, if you guys want to surprise me with something, is all down below, along with my affiliate links and links for my cookbook. All that stuff is down below. You just got to keep on scrolling in the description box. All right, you guys have a great night. I'll see you guys next week.